What's up, Tag
Yep.
MMA? I'm your host, Zach Weicker, and today we got a very special guest. He's a professional fighter with a 9-0 record, coming off a huge victory over Christopher Daniel at Samurai MMA 14. Please welcome Tommy Morrison. Tommy, how are you doing today?
Hey man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And before we get into the fight, I kind of like to give the fans a quick introduction on your background. So, how and when did you get into the sport of MMA?
I started Aikido. I don't know if we can say MMA, but yeah, I started Aikido and Judo around 13, 14 years ago. 13, yeah. So when I was 12, 13.
Very nice. And what were some of like your first memories when you just started training?
I remember I have more memories of Judo than Aikido. I remember also, but it was more I enjoyed Judo most, so I have some good memories about Judo.
Yeah. And now you do train at Tristar. So how would you describe your experience there and what are some of your relationships like with your training partners and coaches?
I'm really grateful and I love TriStar. I have good teammates and friends over there. We have really strong groups of 125, 35, and 45ers. So it's all respect at TriStar, and me being part of the team is just I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and when a lot of people think of Tristar, they think of George St. Pierre. So how big of an inspiration has he been to you?
I always liked what George did. I think he's a pioneer in the sport. So it's like a model, and it's nice to have him at TriStar. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned he's a pioneer, and when a lot of people think of Canadian MMA, they think of George St. Pierre, and when he was champion, Canadian MMA was at an all-time high. Right now, where do you see the trajectory of Canadian MMA?
I think with Amen and there's also Charles. With these guys, I think it's going well. We're getting back on the map, and I think it's going well. It's going better and better.
Yeah, and now back on to you. This might be the first time some people are seeing or hearing of you, so how would you describe yourself and your fighting style?
I'd say I'm a all-around fighter. I'm able to fight everywhere, as much as I can fight standing. I can wrestle. I can do jiu-jitsu. So I say I'm a versatile fighter, and I like to give out entertaining performances. My last fight maybe wasn't the most entertaining, but before that, I had like four fight of the night. So I really enjoy being entertaining and winning, of course.
Now, you just mentioned that last fight, so let's go back on it. Now, a month removed, looking back at that fight, how do you assess and rate your performance?
I think it was in terms of performance itself, without considering the fans. I think it was a perfect performance because I won 50 to 45, so I won all 5 rounds. I did a complete domination, so I didn't get any hits to the head. I didn't get hit, so it was a perfect performance. Now, if we talk about the fans, it maybe wasn't the most entertaining fight, but I believe my opponent, it takes two to fight. So I believe my opponent wasn't really fighting that night. He was just surviving. So yeah, it made it a little bit less entertaining for the fan.
Yeah, and even though it might not be as entertaining as some of your previous fights, you did try your best to make it as entertaining as possible, as every time you did take your opponent down, you were active on top, you were dominant in those top positions. So, how important is it for you to stay active on top instead of just maintaining control and holding your opponent down for the full 25 minutes?
It's I believe it's important to be active because that's how you get the finishes. But my opponent was pretty much stalling, so it was hard to be active because he was always, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, so without people even seeing it, he was menacing. I don't know if we can say menacing. He was kind of attacking certain positions, certain submissions. It was really low key, but I could feel it. So I was maybe sometimes I might have been stalling. It looks like I was stalling a little bit, but he was it was dangerous on the floor, so I didn't want to take any risks. So yeah, I
Yeah,
was being safe.
for sure. And even though you didn't get the finish, you did go the full 25 minutes for the first time in your pro career. So how did it feel to go the full rounds and to do it in such a dominant fashion?
I felt amazing. I believe my cardio. I work with the probably the best team in Canada for the conditioning. It's Kulesva. So my coach is amazing, and going there doing the 25 minutes pretty easily. I believe now it's gave me the confidence to open up even more during the 5 rounds and have the confidence to be able to, let's say, explode and know that I can get my cardio back pretty quickly and explode again.
Yeah, and you did win this belt back in June of last year, and this is your first title defense of the belt. So how did it feel to finally get a title defense underneath your name?
I felt good, at the end of the day, it's I don't fight for the belt, I fight to win. So it felt good to win another time.
That's a great way to look at it. And of course, being champion propels you to your dreams of becoming a UFC fighter. So how much does being Samurai MMA flyweight champion mean to you?
It means it's good to be a flyweight champion. It's especially good to have a 9 win and no losses, and to be able to, like, my last two fight were complete dominations, and I believe it just shows that how much work I put on, and the guys are getting the guys can't even contest. So we're going somewhere, and we believe we have the right recipe.
For sure. And you have spent your whole pro career with Samurai. So how would you describe your tenure with the promotion?
I love Samurai. Treats their fighters really well. Daniel Lafont, the promoter, is and CEO, is an amazing guy. He's it's hard to find these nice people in MMA, but this guy is definitely a nice guy, and he treats the fighter well. And Samurai is local, but it's the biggest show in Canada, so it's a it's an honor to be able to fight for them.
For sure. And to go out of fighting for a bit, you are a student and you are a computer engineering major. So how important is it for you to get that degree and pursue computer engineering while still on this MMA path?
Uh, it's it's really important because MMA is not promising for anybody, and anything can happen at any time. Afterwards, I'm gonna need this degree, so it's really important to, I even I declined tough because I had to finish school, and we even the UFC, if they would call, we would like to finish school first, just so that we can be 100%. I'm already training 100%, but training without school is gonna be more less stressful. Not stressful, but less things to do. So it's really important this to get this degree. After getting the degree, I don't believe I'm gonna be working as an engineer right away. I'm just gonna be concentrating on fighting 100%. So it's gonna be in my back pocket for after my career.
Yeah, and you mentioned there you got the call to be part of Tough since you're a student and you couldn't compete in the show. Was that disappointing to you at all?
Yeah, yes and no, because at the end of the day, tough is nice. Of course, you get to train with coaches, and you get to have all this media attention and stuff. But it's a reality TV show. At the end of the day, the guys fight, but there's so much drama, and you get to be away from home, so you get to not train with your real coaches. So I believe it's good, but it's good to be at school and stay here.
Would you prefer a call on the Dana White Contender Series instead of Tough?
I prefer a contract. Yeah, that's what we hopefully we get in the next 2 3 fights we get we get two finishes, and then I think with the management team that I have, we that's what we're aiming for.
Of course. And since they did call you for tough, do you believe you're on the UFC's radar now?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. And of course, we're talking about the UFC. It's obviously a lifelong dream of yours. So, how much would it mean for you to one day fight for the promotion?
It would be really nice. It would be my dream. At the end of the day, my dream is to be the champion of that league. So it would be fighting for them would be a step towards that dream. I wouldn't call it a dream come true to fight for the UFC. Of course, it's part of the journey, and it's amazing, and I'd be really grateful for it. But the that it's a short term goal.
I like that. And it seems like the goal is to be champion, to be the best. Is that a mindset you've always had throughout life?
Yeah, I believe I was built in that mindset, and to whatever you do, always do it to win and to perform at your best and to be the best in what you do.
Of course. And my final question for you, is there any dream UFC fights you have once you one day make it to the promotion?
I recently I loved watching Brendan Moreno. Brendan Moreno is a he was a champion. He's a nice guy. I met him in when I went to Vegas to train. So I believe Moreno would be my dream fight in the UFC.
That would be a fun one. Tommy, is there anything you want to plug, anything you want to shout out before you head out of here?
Well, of course, I'd like to shout you out for having me on this podcast, and all my team, my coaches, my training partners, all my family. I just want to say thank you to everyone, also everybody that supports me online, sending me messages after my fight, before my fight, and the people that come to the fights also. So just thank you to everyone.
Tommy, it was more than a pleasure having you on. I'm excited to see you in the cage next. Folks, that's all for today. Until next time, peace.